Whenever there is an excess in politics, the judiciary always came to rescue. And this time also Supreme Court has announced its verdict regarding the electoral bonds, in which it has termed it unconstitutional. Hello friends, welcome to the Innews series of Drishti IAS. My name is Ritu and today's session is about SC verdict on electoral bond. And this topic is important for GS2 perspective. Moving towards the points of discussion part. First of all, we are going to discuss the news, then we are going to discuss about electoral bonds, then we are going to discuss that what are the key highlights of the Supreme Court verdict related to the electoral bond. After that, we'll have practice question with prelims, and before that, you have to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Moving to the news part. So today, we had this bench and it was headed by the Chief Justice of India, CJI Chandrachud, and according to that bench and according to the Supreme Court verdict, the electoral bonds and anonymity in the electoral bonds is unconstitutional because it prevents the fundamental right, which is right to know, and which has been enshrined in the Article 19(1) of the Indian Constitution. So that's why we are going to discuss this topic, and this topic is very much important for a prelims perspective and also for the mains perspective. So moving towards about the what are the basic thing about the electoral bonds. So electoral bonds was implemented in 2018, and in 2017 there was a finance bill introduced in the parliament, and through that bill we have this electoral bond in the parliament. And what is its main function? So through this bond you can make donation to any registered political parties and your identity will not be disclosed. And SBI is the issuing authority. State Bank of India, which is known as the largest commercial bank of this country, is the issuing authority, and here you can get denomination of different denomination like 1000 rupees, 10,000 rupees, 1 lakh rupees, 10 lakh and 1 crore, and it is interest free, and Indian citizens can purchase this electoral bonds, and also the entities who are registered in India, they can also purchase the electoral bonds and donate to the registered political parties, and you can also purchase it jointly or individually, and for encashment days the duration is the 15 days. So this is the brief thing about the electoral bonds, but we are also going to discuss the concerns related to the electoral bonds, and due to these concerns the matter reached to the court. Moving to the concerns part. So the first concern is contradicting its basic idea. So it has been said that electoral bonds was introduced in the parliament to know about the transparency, but it is contradictory with its basic idea because here the identity of the donor is not disclosed. So in this way it is contradictory in nature. Then come to the possibility of extortion. So SBI is the scheduled commercial bank, and also it is a government bank and the party who is in the power, so maybe there are high chances that they can get information through the SBI, and also a blow to the democracy because we are living in this country and here we have right to know, right to information, and it is our fundamental right. And if you are not knowing that who is donating whom, so this is also a blow to democracy, favoritism towards the rich corporates. So here we have this provision that from 1000 you can also donate to the 1 crore. So what happened that rich corporates take 1 crore again and again, and because your identity is disclosed there, so this can also give a favor to the rich corporates. Also compromising right to know, we had already discussed that it is a blow to the democracy because we cannot know that who is giving whom, how much they are giving to a particular political party. Against free and fair elections also, because this will lead to another kind of corruptions, because if certain political party has nexus with any corporate authority, then they can get money from that thing and they can invest more into the election. So it also harms the free and fair election of this country. And crony capitalism. So what happened in crony capitalism, that you have to pay for a particular favor to another favor. So what happened that it is a nexus between the political party and also the business persons. So this leads to a crony capitalism that business person supports the political parties and political parties supports the business person, in which what happened that there is a harm of the common citizens who are giving votes to the political representative. So these are the concerns we have, and because of these concerns, a bunch of petition filed in the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court has today given its judgment. So we are going to discuss that what are the highlights of the this judgment. So the first highlight is that it infringes the right to know or fundamental right of the citizens. So it impacts the freedom of speech and expression, which has been enshrined in Article 19 of the Indian Constitution. So this is the main concern, and the court observed that transparency in political funding cannot be achieved by granting absolute exemptions. And the second observation the court has made that the issuing authority, who is the SBI, to forthwith stop the issuing of the electoral bonds. So the Supreme Court had announced that SBI should stop the issuing of the electoral bonds, and they should furnish the details that who has given how much to any political party and how much contribution has been made to the Election Commission of India. So they have to furnish all these kind of information to the Election Commission of India. And also electoral bonds that have not been encashed yet, that should be returned to the purchaser. So these are the announcement which has been made by the Supreme Court. The other two announcements they had made regarding this, that the Supreme Court also quashed the amendments made to the Income Tax and Representation of People Act. So according to this thing that you cannot tell your identity, so the Supreme Court has quashed that anonymity, and also the scheme would aid the political party that was in the power. So according to the Supreme Court observation, it has been observed that this particular scheme will benefit the political power, the ruling political power, and they will get more money from various political authority and also the business authority and commercial entities. So what it says that it directly impacts the democratic structure of the country, and also it quashed the judgment and amendments made to the Companies Act, and it has called that unconstitutional. So there were amendments made to the Company Act, and according to that amendment, that any firm entity can give any amount of number to any political party. So the cap has been removed. So Supreme Court has termed that is unconstitutional. And also earlier we have this provision that if any firm is doing any kind of the loss, so they will not make any political contribution to any political party. But these kind of terms has been violated, and it has been amendment that any firm can give any amount of the money. So it has been termed unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. So suppose that what happened that any loss making firm is making political contribution to any party. So what had happened that that particular political party will give benefit to that particular firm. So the business is also hampered, the commerce is also hampered, and also the politics is also hampered, and political ethics is also hampered. So in this way, the Supreme Court has announced that there should be not system of quid pro quo. And what is this quid pro quo? It means that something for something. It means that if they are benefiting them through the cash, then the party will benefit them through the power and their establishment. So there should not be the provision of quid pro quo. So moving towards the question part, and consider the following statement with regard to the electoral bonds. Electoral bonds can be given to a registered political party which is either a national party or a state party. And the second statement is, although called a bond, the banking instrument resembling promissory notes will not carry any interest. And here are your options. We already had discussed a brief about the electoral bonds. I hope you like this session. If you have any queries related to this session, kindly ask in the comment section. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.